Hi, my name's Dave Johnson. I live here in St. George, and you probably may have seen me out picketing with this sign. I'm trying to get this information out to as many people as possible. I had a car deal with Stephen Wade, and anyways, I found a scam, my words, going on, and I want to try and expose it so that other people don't get taken like I did. Stephen Wade is not the only one that's doing this scam. It's actually being perpetrated by probably a lot more car dealers than even I know. But I can tell you that Stephen Wade, Ken Garff, and Larry Miller all are practicing this unethical behavior when they sell you a car. And the only way we can protect ourselves is by spreading the information so that others don't get taken advantage of like I did and several other people that I've discussed this with. And I'm hoping that by me doing this, people, will take notice and pay attention to what they're doing when they go in to buy a car. I've been told that it's my fault for not reading my contract, and it's my responsibility to read what's on the contract. Well, I agree, yeah. And it cost me a lot of money because, not because I was stupid, but because I was trusting. I trusted that somebody that supposedly goes to church, is this good guy, was not going to pull a sneaky on me. And I'm sorry, but that's exactly what he did. It may not be illegal, but it's unethical. And I just think that it needs to be stopped. At this point in time, I'm working with Representative Johnny Stainerd. He's our local representative. And anyways, I'm trying to get him to get a bill started to help to protect us a little bit and give us a chance when we go in to purchase a car. The problem is we're at the mercy of the car dealers. It's their contracts, they fill it out, and they do it for a living every single day. And they know what they're doing, and they're very good at it. Whereas we go in, we're excited, we want to buy a car, we find a car we like, we're not, exactly sure what we're supposed to be reading, and I just want to make it as simple as possible. When you sit down and talk to a salesperson, what you discuss with him are the price of the vehicle, your trade-in, any warranties or any options that you want on that car. And that's basically it. You discuss what kind of payment you want sometimes. I'm not a believer in that. What I'm looking for is what the best deal I can get as far as price. And if that fits into my payment, fine. If not, then I'm not going to buy the car. But I'm not worrying about the main thing being my payment. And what I'm trying to get the bill passed for is that they should add another sheet or page to the contracts where paper, that page, all there is on there are the things that you would have discussed with the salesperson. And you initial it or sign it, and they initial and sign it, so that everybody's on the same page as far as what they're agreeing to on this car. That way there's less opportunity to sneak things in, which they did with me with a warranty that is called Auto Shield Theft Protection. And it goes by different names. It's not just, you know, that name. Larry Miller has a company called Total Care Auto, TCA, and they have the same warranty. I don't know whether they're not informing the people or not, but I think they probably are. I mean, this is a win-win situation for these people. If the whole premise is if your car gets stolen, they'll give you $2,500 and $1,000 towards the purchase of the car. You have 60 days from the point of the time that you buy that car gets stolen to report it to the dealer. Okay, if you don't even know that you have the coverage, like I didn't, and your car gets stolen, how are you going to know that you need to report it to the dealer? So if they can sneak it past you, it's just a clear, in my case, $399 for nothing. Besides which, most of us have car insurance, which is going to cover our car if it gets stolen, and all they're counting on is a little bit of human greed to try and get the extra $2,500 and $1,000. The chances of you ever seeing that money are slim and none, I can guarantee you. I've looked it up, and Utah is one of the best states in the country as far as recovering vehicles. And if your car is stolen but recovered within that 60 days, even if the car is totaled, and they still don't have to pay you. The only thing that they have to pay you for is if the car is never recovered. And chances are they're going to recover your car. Most of the time it's kids going out for a joyride or something like that. And anyways, it gets destroyed and ruined, and then they park it somewhere, and anyways it comes back to you and you get nothing for that. So like I say, it's a warranty that has no real value, and I think that's why the only thing they can do is try and sneak it past you. And if they don't try and sneak it past you, if you happen to catch it, they'll just tell you that you have to have it, because what they're doing is on every vehicle that's in their lot, new, used, whatever, they etch numbers in the windows. And the etching of the numbers in the windows is what is supposed to prevent the thieves from wanting to steal your car. Well, you can't even see the numbers unless you know what you're looking for. I mean, I don't know how they figure that's going to be a deterrent. I don't think they really do think it's a deterrent. They're just saying that just so that they can get those numbers etched in your window. And since they etch these numbers in the window, if you happen to find it after the fact like I did, I told them I didn't want the coverage and I wanted my money back, and they said, well, you can't have your money back because we've etched numbers in your window. I said, well, you never had my car to etch numbers in the window, so how? And I went outside, and sure enough, there they are. Numbers are etched in the window. Like I say, it's a sneaky way for them to prevent them from having to refund people when they find out that they got this worthless warranty. So it's a big scam that people need to be informed about. If these car dealers want to offer it to the people up front and tell them what exactly it covers and everything, and the people want to buy it, I have nothing against that. My problem is that they're Number one, hiding it from people. Number two, telling them they have to have it because the numbers are etched in the window and the people are falling for it, even though, you know, it's not true. You don't have to have that warranty. You can tell them anytime you want, no, I don't want it. And if it wasn't a scam, why are they etching numbers in every single car, since that's the main deterrent for them, for people to not steal your car? If you say I don't want it, then you get the benefit of having these numbers etched in your windows that's going to stop people from buying or stealing your car. So, like I say, it's just a big scam that these dealers have come up with, and it's, you know, in my case it was $399. I don't know what the other dealers are charging, but it's probably similar to that. And if you think about it, every single car that they sell, they have the possibility of getting that extra $400 or $500, whatever it is, of pure profit, because they'll never. I would venture to say that of all of the warranties of this type that they put out, they may have paid out 1%. And like I say, that's just probably because somebody that worked for the company, and anyways they said, hey, you know what, we'll put this on there, and if your car gets stolen, it's worthless. I mean, granted, a lot of the warranties are worthless, because every time you go to try and get anything done on a warranty, they always have an excuse why they don't want or won't have it covered. It's, you know, this part isn't covered, you changed this, you did, and anyways, it's more all of us trying to have peace of mind, and we're not going to have it because the dealers are in this to make a lot of money, and they're going to do it no matter what, whether it's truthful or not. And anyways, that's why I'm doing this video, is because I think that it's not right that consumers are being taken advantage of and they have no one to go back to. I mean, I went to every single agency out there that's supposed to protect the consumer. Better Business Bureau, that's the biggest joke there is, trust me on that, because the dealers are actually paying the Better Business Bureau, and the Better Business Bureau is in return giving them a grade on, you know, what type of dealership or what type of company they are. That's total conflict of interest. I don't care what they say, oh, that they, you know, it's not, doesn't matter or anything. That it's not right, because I dealt with them and they kept coming up with excuses of why they would not investigate what I was showing to them. The first thing they said was, well, you're the only one that's filed a complaint. And I says, no, I'm not the only. I said, maybe I'm the only one that filed it with Better Business Bureau, but if you go online, I gave them all the different other people that were complaining about this, and they says, well, if they don't come to us, we can't do anything about it. Well, sure enough, a couple of months into me trying to fight with Stephen Wade, another person filed a complaint almost exactly the same as mine, and I called up the Better Business Bureau and said, now are you guys going to, you know, investigate? Well, that's only 2 out of, and so now all of a sudden now they're turning it into a percentage, okay? I says, you guys are cowards. You're not doing your job. You're not doing what you're supposed to do for the consumer. So don't waste your time with the Better Business Bureau. Better Business Bureau does not care about you. Get Gephardt. I went to them, asked them to run a story on this scam. I mean, they say that they want to inform the public, and I don't know whether it was because Stephen Wade and Larry Miller and all these guys, you know, have so much money and advertising dollars, but they wouldn't do anything. And I'm just trying to inform the public. I've already been offered by Stephen Wade to give me back my money as far as the warranty. I had a couple of warranties, and I felt as though I was told I was going to pay one price for the car, and they ended up charging me more. Once again, my fault. I should have paid attention, and I accept that, and it's a learning experience for me. But I also want people to know that it's not about the money to me. What it is I want people to realize that we have the ability to make these companies do the right thing. And if they're going to sit here and do these unethical things, then we need to stop going to them and stop buying their vehicles from them, because they don't care. They really don't care. They know that they have the power to get the lawmakers to go their way. Once again, it's a case of, the public has no one to count on. You can't count on any of the Better Business, MVED. I went to the Federal Trade Commission. I went to every single one of them, trying to just get them to investigate it and see what they could find out. Because, like I say, if you figure out how many cars are sold in this country, and I know for a fact there's other, like Larry Miller has car dealerships in a whole bunch of different states. So this is happening in a bunch of different states that I'm absolutely positive of. But I would say that chances are that almost every car dealership has this type of warranty. And if you figure all the cars that are sold in this country, and each one of them gets dinged for $400 or $500 on their contract, we're talking millions of dollars that are being cheated out of our pockets, taken out of our pockets. And it's just not right. We bailed these car companies out. It was our tax dollars that got them so that they could still sell these cars. And this is how we get rewarded. They turn it around and take advantage of us at every chance they get. It's something that needs to be stopped. And we as consumers need to stick together and say, we're not going to put up with this anymore. If you guys are going to do this, then we're going to have to get some laws passed. And that's why I figure, hey, I'm going for the bill, trying to get it so that at least when we go in to sign a contract, it's right there in front of us. I don't know how many of you have ever heard of truth in lending. I'm sure if somebody pointed, it's on just about every contract where you're purchasing something on time. And what it is usually 4 or 5 boxes across the top where they break it down and say, this is how much money you're borrowing, this is what your interest rate's going to be, this is how much you're going to pay per month. In the end, this is the total amount that you're going to pay. And anyways, they did that because businesses were taking advantage of people with their interest rates and things, and people didn't realize how much they were going to be paying for something in the long run. They just say, oh, well, I got this payment for $100, but I got to pay that $100 for 15 years, for something that's worth $500. It was ridiculous. And that's what this is. This is just ridiculous. Why can't a contract be simple for the consumer to understand? It should be something where when you go in, you look at it, and you say, okay, I agree with all these points that this is how much I wanted to pay for the car and everything, but it should be just simple for the majority. You're always going to have some people that may get confused, and if I were a business owner, I would make sure that whoever I'm selling to is not confused. Otherwise, you're going to end up people like me, because I'm the type of person that I go in, I think the best of people, I trust people, and until they prove me wrong, I'm not going to say anything. Stephen Wade proved me wrong. You don't want to trust this guy. He has absolutely no qualms with doing anything unethical to try and get into your pocket. So what I suggest is help me out. I've already started. I've got a petition going, and anyways, like I say, I'm talking to Representative John E. Stannard. If you want to contact him and tell him how you feel, that'd be great. If not, you can, let's see if you can see this. What this is my card that I have, and what it says on it is no more hide and seek auto contracts. That's the name of my petition. And that petition is simple for you to sign. You just Google that, it comes up. It's usually the top one. It's with Petition Buzz. You click on it, it'll say sign contract. You click on that, you put your name and your location in, you're done. That's all there is to it. It's the more people we get throughout. I have people signing it from all over the country. I've had people from Florida, I've had people from San Francisco, and that's just from me using Facebook to get it out to the few people that I know, and them sharing it to others. It spreads out there, but most people don't want to take the time to click on it and read it. And that's why I'm doing this. I'm trying to explain what exactly is in my petition. It's a petition to help us, all us consumers. It's not just something for me. It's not just something for the people of Utah. It's for the whole country. It's for all people that are buying cars. When you buy a car, you should be able to walk out of that place and not feel as though somebody's taking advantage of you. And that's just very rare nowadays. And people are willing to accept it. I'm not. I think that our country needs to change its attitudes. I was brought up with morals, and live by the golden rule. You don't cheat people just to cheat. It's like I watch People's Court or whatever. Taking advantage of people just because you can is not what you're supposed to do. And nobody wants to be taken advantage of. Nobody appreciates it. Everybody gets upset about it. So why don't we change it? That's all I'm saying. It's not a costly thing to fix. It's easy, and everybody will be better. The consumer's going to be happy about it because now they can feel comfortable when they go in and buy a car. The honest car dealers that are out there, I'm not saying all of them are dishonest, but who knows. Anyways, they'll be happy because then they won't have people like me going out picketing and spreading the word that they are dishonest and not to trust them. The only ones that aren't going to be happy about it are the dishonest ones, because we're going to be cutting into their profits. And even though they're dishonest profits, as I call them, legal theft. It's legal theft what they're doing. And people need to realize that by doing what I'm asking them to do, it will also give you an out, just in case. Because if they fill out the contract just the way it is, and you sign it, that's it. Your name's on there. Anything in those four corners, you have agreed to. By adding this sheet, basically, it gives it a double check, so that even though they may have the information on the contract, this other sheet breaks it down for exactly what you are agreeing to, which, like I say, is the price of the car, trade-in, warranties, options. Those are the problem areas. Those are the areas where the dealers can take advantage of us most of the time. And if they add that sheet where you sign it, and then the dealer has to sign it also, so that both parties are signing to those dollar amounts, then there's no problem if they say, oh, well, it was in the contract. Well, if it was in the contract but it wasn't in the sheet that I signed, then there's a way out, because then you can say, hey, I didn't agree to this. Everything that I agreed to on this car is on this sheet here. And if it's not on the sheet, then there's a problem. And whether, you know, it was an honest mistake or a dishonest mistake, I shouldn't have to pay for it. So I'm giving us an out, at least. That's all I'm trying to do, is give the consumer a chance when they go in. Because, face it, people, they know what they're doing. They're very good at it. So please take a minute to sign the petition. And, you know, spread the word. Tell the people, you know what, this doesn't need to keep going on. You know, we have the power. We have the ability to get these guys to change this, if nothing else, just by not doing business with them anymore. And hopefully by getting a bill passed where it makes contracts easier for people to understand, it'll give us just that little bit extra opportunity to feel comfortable. Because that's all we all want. You know, most of us don't want to sit. I mean, I think the thing that has aggravated me the most with this whole contract thing is when people say, oh, I read all my contracts. Well, that's a crock. If you read every contract that you ever signed, you would be reading all the time. There's so many contracts out there that we sign. I mean, you think about it. You got your house, your car, your phone. Most of us have to sign some sort of a contract for our power, for if you do software, you're signing terms and conditions. I mean, you're signing things day in and day out, and you're being taken advantage of day in and day out. And it's time for somebody to say, enough is enough. Contracts were not intended to be used against a consumer. A contract was intended to be protection for all parties, so that everybody feels comfortable and feels as though they're getting what they are bargaining for. So help me out, help yourselves out, do what you know is right, and just, you know, let people know. Share the information. You know, tell them. If you're going to go in there and buy cars from these guys, you know, look at what is in the windows. Look, I mean, ask questions. It's just difficult for, you know, one person like myself to get out there and try and spread the word. Thankfully, we have YouTube, we have Facebook, things like that make it a little bit easier. But still, you know, if people don't share the information, then it just, you know, like I said, what I've found with my Facebook is that I've reached a maximum of the people that I can contact. And if they don't continue it on out, then it just stagnates. And so, you know, take the time, read it, share it with your family, your friends, and everybody. Let them know what's going on. I mean, I don't think anybody wants to see anybody get taken advantage of. And anyways, that's all I'm trying to do is make it so that people don't get taken advantage of. You know, just Go in with your eyes open. Spread the word about dealerships like this. Heck, I drive around in my car and I have, let's see, have this on the doors. I don't know whether you can read it. Let's see. It says, Stephen Wade's work week. Monday through Saturday. Lie, cheat, steal. Sunday. Repent for sins. Donate small portion of ill-gotten money. Repeat. That's what his philosophy is. This guy is he's just amazing to me that, you know, here this supposedly church-going guy has no problem with doing this type of business. Larry Miller's the same thing. Here he is, you know, everybody thinks he's this, you know, was this great guy that, you know, donates all this money to all these groups and charities and everything. He could care less about the people that he's dealing with. He wants to take advantage of you. He thinks that that's just doing good business. Granted, he's gone. Forgive me for mocking the dead, but karma comes around. And in my opinion, you know what? I'm a firm believer in karma. And what happened to him shouldn't happen to anybody. But I'm not going to weep for the guy. I really not. You know, he went through life taking advantage of people, and in the end, he paid the piper. All I can tell you now is I have a feeling that Stephen Wade's going to pay the piper someday too, and so is Ken Garff. I mean, in closing, let me say this. Keep an eye open for anything that has to do with Kornerstone, Administrative Services, TCA, which is Total Care Auto, and pay attention to Facebook and Yelp and all these other review places that you can go to online, because there's nobody out there as far as newspapers and television that are going to do stories about this. They're afraid to lose advertising dollars, and they just don't feel as though it's something they want to take on. They want to push it on to the consumer and say, oh, it's your fault for not paying attention, not doing your due diligence. And I'm sorry, but it's something that we as consumers need to say it's not our fault only. I made the mistake. I'm the first one to admit that I made the mistake. But the mistake wasn't that just that I didn't read the contract. My mistake is trusting people. And I don't want to live in a world where you can't trust people. You know, if that's the way it's going to be, I'd rather just, you know, find me a 6-foot hole and start throwing dirt on me, because that is not the type of world any of us should have to live in. If you have to be afraid to go out and do anything, buy anything, because you think, what kind of world is that? You know, why can't people just make it an honest living? You know, everybody wants to be, well, I want to retire by the time I'm 50 years old. Why? What are you going to do? You know what? It's just, it's a sad situation we live in. And hopefully by me getting this out and letting people see that, you know, there is another way out of this. That there is another way for people to go. That maybe things will change a little bit. I hope that you see that I'm not a crazy person. I'm just the average Joe that, you know, got taken advantage of and said enough is enough. And I want to help my fellow man in some way, and this is what I'm going to do. So take a minute, sign the petition, read it, you know, share it with people, let people know, so that we can put a stop to this. I mean, The only way you can stop it is getting it out there and informing, you know, as many people as possible so that they can't get away with it anymore. I appreciate your time. Have a good day, and for all of you out there, God bless you, and I hope your life is great.